Yeah, old real-time clock card from a Amiga 500, and it's got some corrosion there that the old battery has leaked. We're going to scrape some of that back and see if we can neutralise it, and see if we can, maybe down the track we'll put a new battery on it, whether it's a lithium ion little battery pack or something. But we don't really want to lose the functionality of real-time clock, but we'll definitely give it a good shot and try and repair it. Okay, got our little bottle of little white vinegar ready to go. What we're going to do is scratch up some of this green crap. See if we can get it off. This is just a tungsten TIG welding rod. Stays relatively sharp. And we'll scrape all this crap off. There's no point trying to neutralise any corrosion with the, what we're going to call it, oxidation still on the board. I'm going to try and get rid of that so we can get underneath it. Looking pretty good. It's fairly well localised too, so it hasn't really affected these chips along the back here. So I'm pretty lucky. Tantalum caps, they're notorious for going short circuit. Whether or not that happened and then made this battery cook, caused it to leak, I don't know. But see, we'll do all the testing and stuff once we get this crap off. Give it a good scrape. I don't want to take off the silk screen if I can help it. But if you guys out there come across any of these older Amiga parts, or any old PC parts that have got the nickel metal hydride or the NiCad batteries on them, best, if they haven't already leaked, get rid of them. Do yourself a favour and get rid of them. Yeah, this stuff here is pretty deep. Really got to chip it off. I had an Amiga 500 as a child. Parents bought one for the family. Endless hours of fun on it. I've managed to score a Amiga 500, which may come up in another video, future video. And it is in, well, I'm sort of disappointed and sort of not. It's in pristine condition. There's nothing to do to it. I haven't actually powered it on, but visually the motherboard is absolutely perfect. So wherever it's been stored, it's been stored in a well controlled area from a humidity point of view. But yeah, it's absolutely magic. My only issue at the moment is trying to find a monitor that I can get the output to. Having a 15 kilohertz vertical or horizontal, correct me if I'm wrong, output on it. Many new LCDs start from about 30 kilohertz, and you can't get a picture on it, or at least not one that you can make out what's going on. Scrape this one now, back here, all this is going to come off. This electrolytic cap's probably going to need replacing anyway, because it's due to age rather than being affected by this battery leaking everywhere. It's probably not the best idea. Put it back in our shot. Let's see what we can do. Try and get off as much as I can. I don't really want to take these resistors off to get underneath them, but I think I can get the majority. I've got concerns for this tantalum here. Sorry for those headphone users out there, this must sound shocking. Nearly there, nearly there. Okay, let's drop some vinegar on it. Okay, let's see. Soak up this vinegar. A couple of days have passed since I last spoke on camera. Off camera, I continued a little bit more work on removing corrosion. It appeared that it lifted most of this ground plane, hence why there's a lot of copper, and you can see the edge of the copper and then the board underneath that. Not to any detriment, but I do feel better for spending a little bit more time on this project to restore this card and get rid of what I can to a certain extent. I did test the tantalum capacitor there, it tests fine, there's no short whatsoever. Everything else is fine. The underside of the board is clean as a whistle. I think you can see there. This is where the battery used to sit. I just desoldered some of the vias here, and I will resolder those just to help connect those ground planes from the other side of the board. The pads for the battery terminals are fine, and this is fine here. There's enough vias all over the board that the two ground planes are going to remain linked and not cause an issue down the road. So with that said, the next part of the project is maintaining real-time clock when power is off. So we need to do something with this battery here. Now I'm not comfortable getting the Varta style NiCad battery again, because down the track, albeit tens of years I guess, the battery will eventually leak and cause the same issue. So I'm going to move to a lithium coin cell which fits in these battery holders. I do have plenty of the coin cells around, but the original battery NiCad cell was rechargeable, and it was charged through while the Amiga was on. It was charged through this circuit. Now I'll just step through this circuit with you. So this part of the circuit here is basically this section of the card, if we can see here. So let's see, we've got C9, which is a 0.1 UF across the IC here, is this capacitor here, which essentially goes across the power rail of the IC. So the power being pin 9 and 18. So 9 and 18. 9 being the ground on that side. You can see how it's connected to the ground plane there. Hopefully you can see that. The lighting's not the best. I've got to work on my lighting. Pin 9 is this bottom corner pin here. Obviously this is the pin header that connects to the motherboard of the Amiga in the trapdoor. Okay, that should work. So let's refer back to our circuit. R911 is this puppy right here. Feeds from the 12 volt rail. It's not the best focus, is it? No, you'll get what I mean. R911 comes in from the, oops, can't see that. R911 here comes in from the 12 volt feed, back through down this diode through a 470, which is 470 ohm resistor, which is R913. Now I believe is this one here, and connects directly to the positive side of the battery. So that part, that leg of the resistor will eventually pop through and go to the positive of the battery, which it does. Pointing it off camera, it's no good, is it? That's it there. So this 913 needs to be changed out to a diode. So a diode that will prevent the flow of current into the battery, because this new battery is not going to be rechargeable. Alright, so we want to delete that and change it to a diode in this fashion. So what that will allow is the battery to over time discharge and maintain power to the clock IC without it being back charged from the Amiga while it's on. So there is a downside. The negative is you don't get a constantly charged up battery when the Amiga is on, but for the sake of these coin cell batteries and the reduced risk of having leakage causing this sort of damage again, I'm quite okay with that. It's a little bit unknown on how long these batteries will last in the Amiga. Some people say a couple of years, some people say a couple of months, but I haven't done the calculations. I don't know what the current draw of this IC is. If I do get the data sheet for this IC, I'll flick it up now and point out the specs and on what the current draw and minimum maximum voltage is this IC uses. So with that, R911 can technically be taken out because we're not relying on any power coming in from, or any current coming in from the 12 volt rail. There's no real reason for that to be there. No, sorry, I'll tell a lie. It's perfectly fine to leave that in there because while the Amiga is powered up, that sort of takes over the powering of the IC over the battery, and hopefully while the Amiga is on, less current is drawn from the battery, so we sort of prolong the life of the cell while the Amiga is running. So that's the plan going forward. No, I think we'll just move forward with taking the resistor out. You know what I might do? Looking at these resistors here, seem to have really darkened solder pads. I might actually remove those, reflow the holes and see if we can get a better connection there. I think everything's fine. I did run the multimeter over aspects of this circuit and everything seemed to be checking out quite okay. So I think I'll do it for peace of mind anyway. And then we'll go from there. So I'll just fire up all my equipment, so soldering iron and soldering gun, desoldering gun. I may reflow this the tantalum capacitor as well. Not too happy with the quality of the solder pads there. So while I'm waiting for things to heat up, my grand plan is to get the Amiga 500 I have in storage up and running. Now looking at it, from what I can remember, it's pristine condition. I'm one of the lucky ones to have a machine in such good condition, inside and out. My only issue at the present is I don't have a monitor for it, and I've got to see if I can find 15 kilohertz compatible LCD and see if I can utilize that. I do have a couple of AccuSyncs, which I think are around the 2003, 2004 era, may do the job. All I've got to do is make a cable from the RGB port on the Amiga to a VGA. I'll shoot a video on that when I make that one up, and hopefully we can get a picture on a screen. Sound's not a problem. I can plug in any one of my speakers and small amplifiers to get the sound going. I do have a joystick and a mouse, the original ball mouse for the Amiga. My other hurdle is I have no floppy disks with any programs on it whatsoever. So I've got about three different external floppy drives for the Amiga, and I might sacrifice one of them. Well, when I say sacrifice, I may modify one of them to house a GoTech, and in that way I can use my ADF files that I've got of the games I used to have and get them on the USB stick and then use the Amiga as per normal. Not the most purest way, but as close to normal as I can, and enjoy the Amiga as it used to be. We do have action. So what I might do, I think what we'll do, we'll work on that tantalum capacitor for the time being. What I'll do is flow some fresh solder. I might focus See if you've got that. Can you see that? Hopefully you can. Okay, that's what I want. That's what I want there. Okay, let's flow some fresh solder. I know this looks counterintuitive. Why are you putting more solder in it when you're trying to do solder? It always helps getting a bit of fresh stuff through there. It does actually help the desoldering process. Okay, let's do that. Very light, very, very light touch. We don't want to remove pads. In fact, I think that cap practically fell out. Oh no. It is holding on by a little bit just to the side of the hole. Ha! Look at that. It's fallen out. So while I've actually got it here, let's give it a quick test. I'm sure that there's no resistance across it, or at least if there is, it's very high resistance. I'll just pop that out of the way. Zoom out a bit. Okay, you can see there. So I'm in. I've got a continuity mode for the time being. Oops. Okay, we go. Well, it's saying it's open. Let's get a reading on it. I'm just going to pop that to the side so I've got a bit of room to move. This is the most awkward. Here we go. Wow, no resistance across it whatsoever. Not the slightest. Better check that my meter's working. 0.01. Oh yeah. Wow. That's a good sign. I actually don't have a capacitor tester to see if it's got any sort of other issues at a frequency, but this is not seeing a frequency, it's only seeing straight DC by the look of it. Where are we looking? So it's the tant, so this will be the tant there. With that symbol, tantalum capacitor symbol's always got the bendy plate on the negative, on the ground side, negative side there. So it's actually a 4.7 UF. 4.7 mic, and it seems to be 475. Yep, so that's definitely what that is. Right, happy with that. And it is polarized. So the positive side is the line. So that will be going not to the ground plane. So that might be it there. Give it a little tiny bit of a touch with the soldering iron. Okay, very good. Get my 0.6 solder. Okay, I'm seeing I've got it hot held in there with the residual solder. Let's put this on. Let's pop this one on. Bit more heat going on the negative side because we've got the big ground plane. We have to sink all that heat, and it makes it a bit more difficult. Okay, let's just touch that and take the excess off. Okay, that's good. Now it doesn't seem to come all the way through because of the heavy corrosion on the top side, but never fear, because technically there's enough vias through the whole board here. I'm going to redo these. There's enough vias throughout to maintain that connection. You can see them everywhere. They're here, all stitching the two ground planes together throughout the whole board, so I don't think there's any threat of not having connection in any of that. So anyway, let's look at these. Okay, so looking at, oh, you're going to help me out here guys, let's sing out if I'm doing this wrong. The bottom one is the 470 ohm resistor, and we've got two 10k pull down. No. Are they pull down or pull up? They're both linked, and they go back to, oh, they actually look like pull-ups. Okay. Two pull-up resistors. So let's touch them. Desolder them, have a look underneath. I've actually ordered a fiberglass pen to help with the corrosion repairs in some future projects, but I only ordered it the other day. It's coming from Sydney, so the other side of the country. It's due next week. Whoop. So let's clear those. Very lightly, round and round. Get some solder out. Lightly, round and round. Round and round. Tell you what, these holes are huge compared to boards nowadays. It's looking good, looking good. I don't want to force it around too much. Certainly don't want to break those pads. I might zoom in a bit so you can see what's going on. So all I'm doing now is touching those legs just to make sure that they're actually loose. Sometimes there's some residual solder holding them to the edge of the hole, or the internal diameter of the hole. You don't want to rip that through plating around. You want to try and maintain and preserve that as much as possible. Okay, let's see where we're headed. Alright, the 470 is already out. Practically out. And then we've got the two 10s, nice and loose. 10k. Give it a bit of a wiggle, just in case there's any little dags holding it in. Alright, that's looking good. This side is perfect. Now this side is a bit how you doing. It's not the best. There's still a bit more corrosion underneath it. What have I got? Let me take some of the grain off. Unfortunately, some of the silk graining is coming off. And I'm only lightly rubbing. I'm not doing it. I really need some IPA. I haven't got any on me at the moment. I've ordered that as well from the other side of the country. That's due next week. Let's do a buzz test on a few items, making sure it's all good. So let's have a look here. Buzz test, buzz test. No, that's not buzz test. This is buzz. Beautiful. Ooh. So 1211, D11, 911. Oh, D11. So that would have been R913. And where's... Oh, interesting. The two 10k resistors aren't actually on here. Unless I'm blind. So they don't form part of this. It's just pull-up resistor to U9, which is the IC. Very good. Guess I can't complain. Those are intact. I'm not going to tempt fate with that. What I will do is get my pliers. That's the 470 ohm. Straighten out the two 10Ks and we'll put the 10K ohm resistors back in, because they don't form part of this overall circuit. I mean they do, but not the power side. Okay, so we got the two top ones. I'm a bit of a stickler when it comes to resistors. If they're the same, you keep all the bands that are going the same way, so your tolerance band's always on the same end. Keep everything looking nice and neat. Always. All my projects. Okay, very good. Now I think you can see, just gonna bend them outwards. Oh, do I need to? No, I'll just touch them, I think. Oh, that got really hot quick. Very good. That one's done. And that one's done. Where's the other friend? There he is. So my other project, my next project is going to be restoring the A500 power brick. I got about 4 or 5 of them. Actually no, I got 4 power bricks and 1 A590 hard drive brick, which I was doing some testing yesterday, just running the multimeter over the outputs, and the A590 hard drive showed nothing despite being turned on. Then it dawned on me, it's got a power sense pin in the DIN connector, which I believe doesn't actually physically turn on until it detects power from the Amiga. So the benefit to that is you can have 2 power bricks, which is one for the A590 when you're running it, and one for the Amiga. You can actually turn the Amiga power brick on and off, and not have to worry about the A590 or the hard drive power brick, because it will turn off when it doesn't have power from the Amiga, which is super handy. You don't have to keep worrying about 2 separate switches all the time. I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember the GVP or Great Valley Products Hard Drive Plus, which was a sleek looking thing that followed the same sort of lines as the Amiga computer itself, which was sleek as. We had one as a kid, and that sort of worked the same way. It wouldn't turn on unless you had the Amiga power on. Okay, those seem to be fine. The two 10Ks are in, the 470 ohm is out, but now we have to replace it. So it's got to face from the battery to the IC. Okay. This is not so. I'm not challenged, but I don't have any ice. I'm gonna have to take one of these out. So which one do I take out? Do I take out D912? Or do I take out D11? 911. No, I won't take out 912 because while the Amiga's on, you won't have a current path to power the IC over the battery, and D911 just prevents 12 volt flying into the 5 volt side. So I don't think I'll have to refer to the overall schematic to find out where those +5 go. I don't want to rob Peter to pay Paul, if you know what I mean. So I need to put D911 in the place of R13. I believe that's the way to go. Okay, D911, which is the middle diode, this puppy in here, that one's got to come out, and then we can swap him out to that over there. And I believe then D911 needs to be changed out to a link, which I'm pretty sure I can manage. Manage that one. So let's have a look. D911 is the middle two. It should pop out. Just needs a bit of a wiggle. Ah, magic. Straighten those pins out. Okay, so we pop that into where our original resistor was, our 470 ohm, which is R913. Try and do that on camera so you can see what I'm doing. Don't know if you can hear that, but the rains are settled in for the evening by the look of it. Still winter over in Oz at the moment. Okay, this looks like cooking with gas. We'll give it a bit of a test once we're good to go. Perfect. Looks good. There's two electrolytics here that I'll probably change out, but I did measure some. They're 1.5k internal resistance straight. There's no I haven't put a ESR meter across them or anything, but they are Elna brand. And now, as far as I can tell, Elna is a good brand of cap, and I believe the rest of the motherboard may have Elnas on it. I haven't had a good look at it, but I've got no reason to believe I should be changing these out just yet. I have no idea that this card works because I haven't had a chance to power up the Amiga to find out. So it's one of those things. But happy with that. Now we've got to see if we can get this puppy on. But do I want to put this on now or conformally coat everything? Or should I just test this first? Put it in place now, solder it, then if it works, remove it, then conformally coat, because I don't want to conformally coat in the battery holder because I need that to be 100% conductive for obvious reasons. Everything else though can be conformally coated, obviously except the interface here. I'll just mask that off. But the conformal coating I've got is solderable, so we can actually solder through it. So that's the puppy there. Protective circuit board lacquer. It says it's fast drying and specifically formulated for circuit boards. And I do believe applications, superior quality clear protective coat, is transparent insulating film resistant to dilute acids, alkalines and alcohol, and readily protecting PCBs. And it does say component replacement is possible as this lacquer is, or can, be soldered through. So I think it says it on the last line there. Sorry about the reflection. So that's available at our local electronics store, old J car down the road, which is always handy. So yes, I think I will. I'll solder that in and then we'll give it a test. We'll measure some voltages and see what's actually getting to the chip. Put this onto that side to keep it all nice and straight. Okay, ground pin, plenty of heat. Just dwell on this point for a little bit because it is a ground plane. It sucks a lot of heat out of the soldering iron. I think that'll do for now. And then we want to touch off in this one. And that seems to be soldered now. Okay, just got to go find a battery. Be right back. Okay, we have a battery. So everything seems to be intact over here. We're still got to put that link in, but that won't affect our testing of this battery at the moment. So let's see what we can do. Okay. So technically that should be powering our little friend. What we're getting. Okay, voltage mode. Just flick under the battery. We'll go ground on the ground plane. Doesn't matter where. The one on the back of the battery. What do we got there? 3.29 volts. Sweet. And then we're going to go ground plane. Pin 18 will be up here. 2.9 volts. So the chip is live after all that. 2.9, love it. Okay, well that proves that theory. Let's take this battery out for now. I'm going to go and download the data sheet for this Oki chip. Come on, pop out. I'm going to solder that link in before I forget. Okay, I might do that shortly. I'm just going to pause this and I'll be back. Okay, we're back. Just going to put this link in before I forget. I wonder why I'm cursing and carrying on when it doesn't work. Actually, I don't think that would be the case, but link going in. Bending pins out slightly, so it doesn't run away from me. Soldering in link. Now that I've documented all this on video, I can reverse it 10 years down the track. Very good. Link in. Happy days. You probably didn't see any of that. You might have. Yeah, you would have. Okay, so I'm going to unsolder all desoldered the battery holder. No, I'm not, because my desoldering gun's gone to sleep. Just wait for that to heat up a bit. So quite impressed about the quality and the overall condition of this board. 1988. Now I don't think that's the manufacturer date. Let's go over some of these chips. So these are Siemens chips, 256s, and they are 46 week 91. And that's consistent with the rest of the chips. 43rd week 91. Actually, not that one. That's an LS 163. Yep, 43rd week 91. That one doesn't have a date on it. Definitely keen to get a data sheet on that real-time clock chip. Okay, we're at temp. Let's take this off. Nice generous hole sizes makes it easy to desolder. Makes it very easy. It's an absolute pleasure to work on. Look at that. No problem at all. Okay, so the rest of this can now be conformally coated, but I am going to wash it in IPA once it arrives and ready for the big test. Good job. Alright guys, until next time, we will be looking at making a cable for the Amiga's RGB output to a VGA, and hopefully that will be compatible with at least one of my spare monitors I have on hand. Then we'll be servicing the power brick, and then we'll do a bit of just a check over and open up the Amiga 500 itself, and making sure that we're not dealing with any issues with leaky caps, obviously leaky caps or anything like that. Now I believe it is a Rev 6 something. Would I say Rev 6C? Does that make sense, or is it an A? Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's a Rev 6 something, so it's a fairly late model Amiga 500. Okay, until next time, see you later.